May 28, 1918, the world was at war. For years, Europe had been locked in a brutal conflict. The United States, hesitant at first, had finally joined the fight. All eyes turned to a small village in France, Cantigny. It was here that the American army would face its first true test of World War I. What happened in Cantigny would echo throughout history. It was a battle that proved the mettle of the American soldier. The Battle of Cantigny was more than just a battle. It was a symbol. It was a symbol of American resolve, of courage under fire, and of a commitment to victory. For the soldiers who fought there, it was a baptism by fire. They went in as untested recruits, but they emerged as hardened veterans. Cantigny was their crucible, and they met the challenge with grit and determination. The world in 1914 was a very different place. Europe, a continent on the brink, plunged headlong into war. Powerful empires clashed, their armies fueled by nationalism and ambition. The United States, geographically isolated, initially remained neutral. However, the sinking of the Lusitania and the infamous Zimmermann telegram made it clear that neutrality was no longer an option. In April 1917, the United States declared war on Germany. American soldiers, many of them volunteers, began arriving in Europe. They were eager to prove themselves in battle, but they were also untested and unfamiliar with the realities of trench warfare. The Allied powers, battered and weary after years of fighting, welcomed the fresh American troops. They saw in them a chance to turn the tide of the war. The stage was set for the American Expeditionary Forces to make their mark on history. Cantigny was a strategic village, occupied by the German army. The plan was simple: take the village and hold it. The reality, as is often the case in war, was far more complex. The American 1st Division, under the command of General Robert Bullard, launched their attack on May 28. They faced stiff resistance from the entrenched German defenders. Machine guns rattled, artillery shells exploded, and men fought with a ferocity born of desperation. The Americans, however, would not be denied. They fought with a tenacity that impressed even their enemies. They advanced through mud and blood, their courage unwavering. After 3 days of intense fighting, the Americans captured Cantigny. It was a hard-fought victory bought with the blood of many brave soldiers. The victory, though small in scale, had a significant impact on the morale of both sides. For the Germans, it was a sign that the Americans were a force to be reckoned with. The Battle of Cantigny was a turning point in World War I. It was the first major offensive victory for the American Expeditionary Forces. It proved to the world, and perhaps more importantly to themselves, that American soldiers could fight and win on the battlefields of Europe. The lessons learned at Cantigny would shape American military doctrine for decades to come. Cantigny also demonstrated the importance of combined arms warfare. The battle saw the effective coordination of infantry, artillery, and air power, a precursor to the sophisticated combined arms tactics that would become a hallmark of the American military. The victory at Cantigny, though small in the grand scheme of the war, loomed large in the minds of the American soldiers who fought there. It was a victory that instilled in them a sense of confidence and pride. It was a victory they would carry with them through the rest of the war and beyond.